Welcome to the Fabulous Women Podcast Studio. Have you all seen my new logo? It's pink and she's very pretty. Okay, so this is where you're coming to meet truly fabulous women in their field. So I'm Kim Allen, I'm your host, and something you should know about me is that I love women, I love supporting women, and I love promoting women, especially fabulous women. So speaking of fabulous women, let me introduce you to my very special guest, Dr. Christina Sax. Welcome.
Thanks, Kim. So glad to be here today. And please just call me Chris, okay?
I will. I will call you Chris. And if I slip back into Dr. Christina Sax or some variant of that, you'll understand.
It's okay. It's all right.
Okay. Yes. So what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, Chris, is I really would like to share your bio with the audience. I always like to give a point of reference. And some of it may embarrass you because it's really me bragging about you, but I promote women. So this is what I do. All
Okay.
right. And then after that, we'll get right into the questions. Is that okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So for everyone who's listening right now, so Dr. Christina Sax, Chris, holds a PhD in human genetics. Okay, now you're just showing off, Chris, because I can't speak science. And an undergrad in biology, and has over 30 years experience as a higher education leader and faculty member, following an 11-year career as a research scientist at the National Institute of Health, which is NIH. See, now you're really showing off. She also is a Harvard University trained consultant with over 20 years consulting experience with her own company called Chris Sax Consulting, LLC. Dr. Sax is a nationally recognized expert in online education and was the co-founding director of the Quality Matters program. Serving the needs of adult and non-traditional learners is the unifying theme of her higher education career. Her experience traverses the faculty, department chair, dean, associate provost, presidential, state system, and interinstitutional levels. Dr. Sax has received numerous state, regional, and national awards for educational leadership and quality. She serves as a peer evaluator. She's not an elevator. She's a fabulous woman. She's not an elevator. All right. She serves as a peer evaluator for accrediting commissions and has served on several national education-related boards. And finally, I just wanted to add this, that Dr. Sax's extensive leadership experience is in continuous improvement and educational innovation. Okay, I need a nap.
Thank you, Kim.
I need a nap. Thanks for reading that, Chris.
You know, I've been called a lot of things, but never an elevator. So
I know.
Today is a first. This is a historic podcast. So thank you.
I love it. And I'm not editing that out because it's so real.
Great.
And you are not, okay, you're not an elevator. All right. So now, anything else that you'd like to add to your background?
No, I think we're good.
All righty.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
So for everyone who joined us, the episode is titled Emotional Intelligence. Do you really know yourself? So I think you're going to find this conversation with Chris fascinating. So Chris, we're going to begin. I actually broke the questions into 3 groups, and I'll let you know what they are for the audience. The first one is inspiring today, and the second part is empowering tomorrow. And the reason why the questions are geared toward this is because if you look at my logo with regard to Fabulous Women's Podcast Studio, is that my belief in speaking with wonderful, fabulous women like Chris is that we absolutely are inspiring other women today in order that they are empowered tomorrow. And then the third section of this is just actually going to be Chris's really sound advice for women. So inspiring today, this is about your journey and your lessons and your reflections. So at one point, Chris, you said that you believed you only had a wee bit, air quotes for those who are listening and not watching, a wee bit of emotional intelligence, and that you work hard at this because it's how you are naturally wired as an introvert. Others have stated differently about you. What inspired you to see that differently?
Yeah, so this is something that kind of snuck up on me, quite honestly. Um, I did another podcast a month or so ago, and emotional intelligence came up, and two colleagues. I didn't think I have emotional intelligence, so I was a little surprised when the podcaster Amy Wheeler and another colleague of mine, Paul Nardone, said, "No, you do." And I just didn't see it. I didn't really understand that perspective, and it just kind of sat with me for a couple of weeks, and it was just sort of percolating. And at one point, I thought, well, maybe I have imposter syndrome about emotional intelligence. Maybe I actually do have it, and I don't realize it, or I'm not accepting that. Um, and then I thought, well, I've never really taken a moment to learn what is emotional intelligence. I
Mm,
assumed, just because of those words, that it was a focus on understanding other people and being sensitive to where they are and their needs and them in the workplace. So then I did a little bit of research. I'm like, okay, that is part of it, but oh, there's this other really big part that I guess should have occurred to me, which is about knowing yourself.
yes.
And then suddenly it clicked. I'm like, okay, now I understand what they see, because I think that is something has that is carried with me from a very early point in my career, is really knowing yourself and how that shows up and how you use your natural rhythms, your natural wiring in the workplace. So I guess I do have emotional intelligence, and I'm accepting that now. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So when we had a conversation, you did share that with me, and I was shocked that you said that you have a wee bit because I think you have a lot
Yeah.
more
See,
than you're giving your that you're giving
again,
yourself.
who knew?
Right. But you know what I love about what you did? Because when we're talking about perspective for other people, it
Yeah.
is about how they see us at the
Yeah.
same time, how we see them. It's so important because that affects how we show up.
Yeah.
Being
Yeah.
aware of that is really, really, really important. So, well,
Yeah.
good.
Two people in short succession saying that was like, okay, I should really think about this. There's something I'm not realizing here. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. You've shared that you feel like an introvert inside, but show up as more extroverted outside. And that's actually called tension, not tension as in headaches, but
Yeah.
that's actually called tension.
Yeah.
How has that tension shaped your leadership, feeling one way on the inside and showing up differently on the outside?
Yeah. So for me, that word introvert, it's not about the what's often associated with that word of being uncomfortable with other people or being shy. That's not it. For me, it's that um, what's called an inclusion score, and that's your need to be with other people. So for me, I have a very low inclusion score. There's this one assessment, self-assessment called the FIRO B, and I'm a 0 on that scale. I don't need to be with people. But how that shows up in the workplace or just socially is that being with a lot of people for long periods of time drains my energy. I gain energy from being alone. People who are at the other end of that scale, it's the exact opposite. They gain energy from being recharged. So knowing that about myself, what I've needed to do over the years is learn to manage my schedule better, learn to manage my energy better.
Yes.
And because obviously as a leader, you're with people or need to be with people a lot. And I will say one thing personally for me that um, by happenstance has been great is that I've been working fully remotely, almost fully remotely for 5 years now, and that has really helped me to manage manage my energy, manage how much time I'm with people. So So it's not something that it's a barrier. Just needed to learn how to work with it.
That is so well stated. That is not a barrier. I really listened to every word that you just said, and you're 100% correct. I am that person that's the opposite end, right? I am
Yeah,
triple type A. I know it. I'm so self-aware of that. And I indeed draw my energy
yeah,
from people. So, and I always tell the story, but it's true. My daughter and she's now 36, but it wasn't until only like 3 years ago, very long story short, she shows up like me,
yeah.
but growing up, we would clash and I couldn't understand that because she would just, after sitting for 2 hours for dinner, which was like going to a comedy show at our house, falling out of the chair laughing, she would just get up and walk away, go up to her room. I'm like, wow, what a miserable person. I couldn't understand that. I'm thinking, like, is this a teenage thing? But it carried on as she grew out of being
Into adulthood.
right. And to make a long story short, when she was in between jobs, she went to an outplacement firm, and they did the Myers Briggs, and she and I were the exact same, but my first letter is E, and
Uh,
her first letter was I.
yeah.
Chris, I was so shocked. It was almost like she said, "You know what, Mom? You switched babies at the hospital. I'm not yours." I was so stunned to hear that about her. And me of all people did not catch that, even in my
Yeah.
my own personal life with my own daughter. So once I understood that, I'm like, oh my gosh. So of course, we're the best of friends now. But
Yeah.
it's so important that you're talking about um, being aware of that and aware of your energy. And I also add that not just to work with it, but also to protect yourself. If you know that's what you need, then that's what you need.
Yeah. So like, going to a conference, there's always a mixer time with the
Yes.
vendors, social time. So I go to those, but you're never going to see me be the one that's closing down the joint. I'm in, I talk to the people I want to talk to, we do that, and then
Right.
I leave
Right.
because it's just like, well, yeah, I need to go.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. That's really
Sure.
important. So toward that, the next question is very interesting. You did share with me that you once expected a tactical leadership training. You once attended one,
Yeah.
and you had different expectations of that training, but instead found out deep self-awareness. What discovery had the biggest impact on how you lead today?
So yeah, so the session, it was a week-long session with the Center for Creative Leadership, and I was a pretty new leader. Uh, and honestly, what I thought was going to happen is I was going to go to this week-long thing, and I was going to get this tactical list of, to be a good leader, do these things, don't do these things. Here's your template to success. Yeah, it was anything but that. It was highly personalized, yet within a template. So we did these, I think it was 11 different assessments and personal self assessments. And throughout the week, the results of these would be revealed to you, and you would discuss them. And then you would reflect on your results, who you are, how you're naturally wired in different leadership settings, scenarios, challenges. Um, and it was not at all what I expected. And I think the biggest thing that I came away with was not any one realization from any one of those surveys, but rather, okay, this is who I am, and things that had felt uncomfortable in a leadership position in the past or as a new leader was like, okay, I understand why that feels uncomfortable, why it has felt uncomfortable. It's okay to feel this way because it doesn't fit. So now I just got to figure out how how to make who I am work in that setting.
Right.
So that was really the biggest thing. It was just like, this is who you are, which was which was a relief in many ways. I can't even say why. It was this realization of, this is who I am. All right, now
Yes.
let me figure out how to get the setting and me to kind of mesh together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank
Sure.
you. All right. So we're talking about your journey and your lessons and your reflections. So now we're going to move on to empowering tomorrow, guidance for emerging women leaders. The one thing, well, there's many things, but the one thing that I really like about the two of us is that we're not 20 and we're not 30. And I love that. And I feel such a responsibility for other women, and especially the women coming up now. I feel
Yeah.
such an allegiance to them, and that women like you and I need to share what we can to help them in their career journey. So toward that, my next question for you, Chris, is many young women feel pressure to perform in ways that don't always match who they are. How can they embrace their authentic selves early in their careers?
So, this question is really interesting, Kim, because just last week, I had someone say to me, I'm not sure I belong on this committee. I'm just really different than everybody else on the committee. I have different interests, a different approach. I have a different career goal. I'm just not sure I fit. I'm enjoying it. I feel like I'm contributing, but I just don't. I probably don't belong on this committee. And my response to them was, we absolutely need you on this committee. It's not just that you're welcome. We absolutely need you. You bring a very different perspective that everybody else has,
Mm,
and that's your contribution. So I think, the big thing is, recognizing. Recognize and embrace that maybe
mm,
you're performing differently, or
right,
you are different than the other people you're working with.
right.
You might have different interests, different goals, different approaches. You show up different.
Hmm.
And that's what should guide you. So your comparison to other people should not be like, "Oh, I'm different than them. That's bad. That's not a
Mm,
good thing." It should be, you're comparing yourself, "Oh, I'm different to them. Oh my god, that's how I'm unique.
yes,
That's what I bring to the table, is a
yes.
very unique set of skills or knowledge or perspective, background experience." So what I say to people is, okay, you feel like you're not performing like others, you don't show up like others. That's actually a good thing. And so lean into that. Speak up
Mm,
with those very different perspectives. Don't shy away because you're different, but put that difference right there, square on the table. Lean into it and contribute that. That's your contribution, being unique, not that difference is a bad thing.
right,
Yeah.
right. That is wow. I actually took notes.
Yeah.
That's how profound your answer is, Chris. Um,
Okay.
but it really is, because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what you're saying, that it's okay that you are different. It's good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's someone identifying as being unique.
Yeah. Yeah. No one else, you can't be somebody else. There's no way you can be somebody else, and
Absolutely.
nobody else can be you. Only you can be you. And I know that's a trite thing, and a lot of people say it, but that is true. In that meeting, you're bringing you, which is something very different than
Yes.
everybody else.
Right. And I think what people miss, especially those walking into those situations being maybe a little bit intimidated by it, is saying to yourself, I think they're expecting me to be like them, but
Yeah.
they're not. They
Yeah.
want my perspective. They want
Yeah.
my uniqueness. So again, it's a mind shift.
Yeah. You're included for a reason. And okay, so you say that, Kim, but we all know there's some groups you're on and you're just supposed to be on them and not really
Right.
buck the system, or you're
Right.
supposed to be like somebody else, like
Right.
everybody else.
Right.
So maybe in those meetings, you're not that overt with who you are, but you're
Right.
building relationships with those people. And then it's on the
Um,
side where you
yes.
show up as you, as
Yes.
being unique and contributing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Your words are like a hug for women. They really, no, they really
Well,
are.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes, I feel so comforted. All right. So, what self-awareness practices would you encourage women to start building now before they step into bigger leadership roles?
So the easiest thing that anybody can do on a regular basis is to be reflective.
Mm,
Reflect on various situations or things that you've done or interactions. What did you do well? What did you not do so well? And you got to be really honest with yourself in that.
mm,
And it's not just identifying what you didn't do so well, but thinking about, all right, what do you need to learn? How do you need to grow in order to
right,
do that better?
right.
And then committing the time and the energy to the
Yes,
learning and the growth. But
yes,
everybody can do that. You don't need a lot of time. You don't need a lot of money. That's all on you, really. It's just being reflective. Um, Second thing is, uh, I encourage you to just do as many of those self assessments that I mentioned as you can, whether formally or informally. Um, some are structured, some are paid, some are free, some you do through a self study. It could be you mentioned Myers Briggs, it could be the Strengths Finder. I mentioned the FIRO B. There's the DISC assessment. I mean, the list is very long. Just do a Google search or a Chat GPT.
right,
Self assessments for leaders. and
right,
you'll get a very long list. But that gives you something structured. And then once you've got those results, sitting with those results, really thinking about them, accepting them. Don't fight against them. That's who you are. And
right,
then thinking about how you're gonna use those to your
right,
benefit
right,
as a leader.
right.
And
That,
then and then if you're so inclined, which I haven't been myself, but a lot of people connect with a coach or with a
mm,
mentor to do some one-on-one work, and that works better for some people than it does for others.
right.
Because I don't like people, that's not my natural inclination.
I think you like people. You just don't want to be with people,
There you go. Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, no, you definitely like people.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's amazing. Just your words. I'm hoping everyone is listening to this and paying attention because Chris is
Good.
offering amazing, amazing advice. And we haven't even gotten to the advice section yet. Can you imagine what's coming? Oh my gosh, I've got
I
to
don't know.
fasten my seatbelt.
Yeah.
My next question, Chris, is how can women learn to see that not knowing everything,
Mm.
even their weaknesses, as a strength rather than shortcomings?
Um, so just like being different, it was flip the script, same here. So
Okay.
nobody can know everything.
Right.
Even even the incredible role models or impossible vision of the perfect leader that we have set up in our head. Just nobody can. So
Right.
why would you expect that you would know everything or
Right.
that other people would think you would know everything? So
Right.
that's the first thing. And then really truly adopting a growth mindset. So
Yes.
always be learning. We've
Yes.
heard the phrase always be closing, always be learning.
Yes.
When you take on that perspective, you flip the script.
Yes.
It goes from, well, I don't know everything, so I'm lesser than,
Yes.
to I don't know everything. I'm going to learn that. And everything you learn becomes an achievement, becomes an accomplishment. So
Yes.
instead of, ah, man,
Right.
I'm not good. It's like, hey, look what I just learned. Yeah, I didn't do that so well,
Absolutely.
but look what I just learned. So again, you're flipping it from a negative to a positive.
Yeah.
Um, just accept that nobody knows everything, and then you're going to learn. You're just going to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there are people who show up extremely confident and they're not inside.
True. Very true. Yeah.
And what happens is, especially for women, they'll see someone who
Yeah.
projects that they are fully confident, and then that can knock the confidence of a woman
Yeah.
um, feeling that her shortcomings are, tattooed to her face, and everyone's going to see it. No one does. No one does. Right.
Mhm. Yeah. That it's that iceberg, the part of the
Mhm.
iceberg that's below the water. Yeah.
That's actually a prettier visual than a tattoo on the face. Like tattoos on the face, like, I'm not confident right now. Okay. Because they are permanent and you can't remove them. All right. Okay. So, well, thank you for that. So, the final section of questions I have for you, Chris, are really they're your advice that we are seeking from you. And the first question would be is what would you tell a young leader about finding her own version of flow, air quotes, flow in her work?
So I would say it's really important to know. This should not be a surprise. I'm going to say this. It's kind of in the title, but know who you are
Mhm.
and know who you're not.
Yes.
Know what you're good at. Know what you're not so good at. Know what you like to do. And more importantly, at least for me, know what you hate to
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
And then whatever you can do to maximize your the role you're in, situations you're in, where you are doing who you're in a situation where it aligns with who you are, what you're good at, and what you like to do.
Yes.
That's the at least for me, that is the sweet spot. Everything just sort of clicks,
Yes.
things flow,
Yes.
work gets easier. It's very natural. Now we can't all be in jobs or in roles where that's what you get all the time.
Right.
For anybody that is, more power to them. That's
Right.
awesome. I'm glad for them. I've never been in a position where that's all I get to do, but you
Yes.
want to maximize
Yes.
those 3 things coming together. That's
Okay.
so if you can do it, do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
If you could create a starter toolkit for young women stepping into leadership, what would be in it?
Uh, so I first of all, Kim, I love this concept of a toolkit. So general things you carry with you, and I
Yes.
know things that are likely going to come to people's mind are things like, well, critical thinking and problem solving. That's those are all important things, but that's not what I would put in there. I think I'd put 2 buckets of
Okay.
things. So one would be the bucket of, as we said, being comfortable with the fact that you don't know everything.
Okay.
But be committed to continually learning in various forms. And the top priority on that learning list is learning about yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that's the one tool. The other tool that we hadn't talked about yet, I think is really important, is to develop a personal mission statement. And it can just be really helpful. Um, it can help clarify for you why you want to be a leader. It's not really role specific, but
Yes.
just it's very broad, it's very general. What why do you want to be a leader? What are you going to bring to it? What do you hope to accomplish by being a leader on the biggest, broadest scale that you can make it? Because then it
Yes.
sticks with you from job to job,
Yes.
employer to employer,
Yes.
interaction to interaction. It's sort of your touchstone. It's your guidepost for everything. So those
Ex
would be my two big tools I would put in that toolkit.
Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful. My final question, Chris, is this. What legacy do you hope your leadership leaves for the women coming up behind you?
Um, I would say that you can be a leader and be yourself. Um, you don't have to become someone else to be a leader.
Yes.
And if you are who you are, and you show up that way and you are that way, everything becomes so comfortable and so easy when you're not simultaneously trying to be somebody else.
Yes.
So I'll give you an example. So I'm a fairly casual person. Okay. most days on the job, you're going to see me in a polo shirt, not in a formal business suit. I tend to be approachable and very casual and like to uh, uh, make the work fun rather than being formal and stiff. And so I am that way. It influences how the work gets done, but
Absolutely.
it doesn't change the fact that in the end, the outcomes are still effective and productive and successful. So being who you are while you're a leader to me is just really important to being an effective leader.
Absolutely. Wow.
No.
What a way to end this amazing
Yeah.
podcast. As soon as we're done, I'm going to go back and watch it myself because there's so many takeaways from you, Chris. All kidding aside, you really are amazing. And the advice that you're
Thank you,
giving
Kim.
to other women, and especially those coming up, it's so valuable. I so appreciate you coming on as a special guest and talking about emotional intelligence. And I hope that you come back because this is not a one-time Fabulous Women slot for any of my very special
Yeah.
guests.
Yeah,
I'm
well, Kim, thank you very much for the opportunity.
sure.
As always, loved the conversation. So
Yes,
engaging, so energizing, even
yes,
though I like to be by myself, always engaging and energizing.
yeah.
And I've just really, I've been able to reflect and think about myself and learn a bit myself in preparing for this. So thank you very much, Kim.
That's a win.
Yeah,
That's a win for everybody.
absolutely.
My ask for everyone, I always have an ask. That's from my book, Reengage. It's still available on Amazon.
Yeah.
For everyone is to pay it forward and support women. It's always been important, but now I think we're at mission critical right now to make sure that we are paving the path for women as they are emerging and even those that are maybe not 20, because we all need that support
Yeah,
every single day, correct? Um,
absolutely.
I'm hoping that everyone watches my future episodes of Fabulous Women Podcast Studio. And on my logo, again, you're going to see that I talk about inspiring other women today because you're going to empower them tomorrow. That is so, so true. I'm hoping that all of you take that with you. And also for Chris's, all the information, all that sound, wonderful woman advice that she gave us today. I'm going to leave everyone with this, that now that you have this new information from Dr. Christina Sax, who likes to be called Chris, at the end of the day, my ask is that all of you go be fabulous this week. So until next time, take care.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Chris.